Hello, everybody. How you doing, chocolate friends? And we have another guest today. A special day, a special person. How you doing today?
Good, Diana. Hi, everyone. I'm Brian. Hola. Hello. Benvenuto. Hi, Revere.
Hi, Revere. Exactly. This is a man. He has been in Revere for a long time in the arts community. That's what he loves.
That is true. I do enjoy doing what I do.
And tell us a little bit about your background, everything that you have done before, because I know you come from a musical background too.
Way back in the other century, the 70th portion of that, I was still in high school, and as a senior, I was working as a nightclub disc jockey. Shh, don't tell.
Ha ha!
At a place on Revere Beach called Friends. And for those that know anything about the early history of that, from there I met Paul Conley and Donnie Goff, and they went off into Boston, worked in Zelda's and other clubs, and I followed them into Boston, spinning as a disc jockey with John Luongo, Joey Carvello, a bunch of other people. We started the second record pool for disc jockeys in the United States of America.
Wow.
I got to work at a bunch of different clubs. At that time, in the mid-'70s, it was Kenmore Square is where the younger population, the students and tourists from out in the suburbs came in to party on the weekends. And it turned out that the liquor age then was 18, so it was a much younger, rowdier crowd. From there, I moved off into other places, traveled to, where'd I go? Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Columbus, the West Coast, a bunch of different places. And eventually met someone, and their father said, "When are you going to get a real job?"
Yeah.
Yes.
I love one.
Well, he was a VP for U.S. Steel. Anyways, she was in the radio business too and does TV now. But long and short of it, off I went into the financial world with American Express, GE, John Hancock, Fortis, companies like that, and learned how businesses work. But I always continued to do something with my art, and that tended to be photography. So I've done it consistently for over 40 years, and I've sold pieces in all different places. Right now, I'm a member of the Fort Point Art Community. I've curated and been part of shows there. We do digital immersive projections on the glass walls down at the Fort Point Art Community's gallery at the Envoy Building down in the Seaport. We've had 185 street photographers in the last show we did a year and a half ago, and about 1,800 images, and it took about an hour and 15 minutes to sit there at 5-second flashes to see every single image that all the photographers put together.
What kind of images you were showcasing there?
Street photography was the style. So it's traditionally seen as an everyday street scene, like if you look across the window, the woman pushing the cart with the baby. If she got in front of that door with a heart on it for Valentine's Day, it makes a nice black and white image, or
maybe someone getting out of the house with all the food shopping that they did.
Exactly. It just
nice.
Street photography is capturing images in the street that can be dramatic. They can be dramatic because of how the photographer put the image together technically. It can be dramatic from how they put it together by looking at it conceptually, or it can just have something that happens. I've done quite a bit of that for a while. A dramatic one was I was in a city hall meeting and there was a fight. That's a dramatic picture.
That's a very dramatic one.
Yes, it is. But I've also had pictures where it's just a single individual sitting on the wall down at the beach with a little bit of the pavilion being seen and an old-fashioned looking street lamp, and the ocean was very volatile, and they were dressed in winter clothes. And It's just as dramatic. And I also do the fine art photography, and I do a lot of beachscape on, Facebook. You can find a character called Nyx Breen, Nyxbreen. That is my...
That's you.
That's me. That is my alter ego, or my nom de plume. I had to do work for the University of Turin in Italy because I did a lot of content creation in virtual worlds back in the 80s and 90s. And what occurred was they wanted to meet on this platform called Facebook. I really wasn't on social media. So I decided I'd use the avatar name. And I did that, and later on, I just kept using it and used his email for anything that was, I want to see it, but I don't want it on my regular email feed. And so Nyx Breen took off, and he's more known than I am.
Wow, that's wonderful. I bet if they say your name, they might not. But then if they see
My photography,
your photography
oh,
work, they'll be like,
you're the photographer. I'll get that from the people. There's about 3,000 so people that follow me on Facebook. I know it's an older platform, but I got 3,000 people following me on Facebook under the name Revere Beach Photos. But on Instagram, you go to Nyx Breen and you're going to see my street photography style and, the architectural stuff.
And everybody can interpret different ways of photography like that.
That's like any piece of art. People should be able to relate to it and be able to interpret it through their own experiences as an individual and take from it what they want and maybe even take a little bit more if they look into it deeper.
Absolutely. So tell us, what are your projects and what is your mind ongoing?
Well, right now, I took and started in 2018, I started conversations with the former mayor, Brian Arrigo. Hi, Brian. And we took and pushed towards getting a Revere art community in the city of Revere. We had none. It took a bit. I met with him. He was like, this sounds good. This is something I'm going to do, but I need to leave 5 minutes early from our meeting. I've got to go talk to Revere TV about this new thing called COVID. Off he went. We disappeared for a couple of years from the city's priority list as we fought through COVID. So I did a lot of work in COVID time. I did a project down on Revere Beach where I stood out there in the middle of February and March and asked people to put on a mask, N5, whatever it was, 9, and write on it who they would wear the mask for, the name of the person or people.
Oh, wow.
I got 175 people to do it. I made a poster we had to put up, and it was on the bandstand for a while. All 3 of the major networks, even 25, you're a major network too, the local papers, Boston papers, some magazines all reached out, and I got coverage about it.
Oh, great.
And Channel 5 is coming down. Doug Meeham's going to do the last one of the pieces. We get there, I'm a little early, and someone had stole the banner.
Oh, wow.
It was gone. So, we do the piece. Revere TV had footage. They used that. And Meeham's pushing on, the stolen banner. No, Revere's positive. You go to look it up on their old website, and important art stolen in Revere. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not what I want for Revere.
Wow, yeah.
But, it's just how the media pushes. Sensationalism sells. Bleed, it leads. That mindset. So anyways, I decided that I'm going to start the Revere Art Community and push to get the Revere Public Arts Commission, which the mayor felt was what the city could work with better going. And we got it going in 2020. We've done a couple of projects. We, as the Public Arts Commission, have done on the Northern Strand Bike Trail up in Northwest Revere, right as you go towards Route 1. As you cut on from the circle and you go up, if you were to make the first exit and swing around and make the first left into the street there, you go to the end of it, you're going to see the bike trail, and it's the underneath portion of the highway up above. And
wow.
We had an artist, Blake Whitaker, come in, and it's just gorgeous. It's an abstract cloud-based type thing, and there's lights that are up inside of it at night so you can see it.
Oh, wow.
So we got that. We're working towards...
We have to go check it out.
Yes. I've actually got some video I can link to you if you want to take and splice it.
Absolutely.
All right. And then what that pushed was we realized we need to do more stuff to get the city moving as a whole, because my belief is that all art in any city begins in the neighborhood. That's where it comes from. If it's going to be public art, it should be art from the peoples. So since I live in Shirley Ave, and Shirley Ave, I personally believe is the most dynamic place in the North Shore of Massachusetts, if not Massachusetts itself, for having ethnically diverse economic growth, for having cultural events, for having different types of foods, for being able to interact with different minorities and majorities and cultures and religions, and discover that we're a lot more alike than people think we are, because we have similar values, and that's what keeps us together. So with that in mind, I started the Revere Public Arts Commission in 2020, where I got it formally incorporated into a nonprofit business. From there, we started working with Mass TDI. Hi, Laura. Hi, Angelo. And we took and did a project. They had a shared space initiative that Mass TDI was doing. And you could share a space with a building, inside of a building with a business that was existing there already. So I figured, what could I take and do with that? So I turned it into, rather than sharing a space, all I did was go around to 35 different businesses on the Ave and talk to the owners, the building owners, the people that owned the business, even some of the persons that were in charge of the operations if the owner of the business wasn't there every day, to understand what we were doing. And I said, I just want to share your window space. So give me a piece this big, and that's all I need from you. And that turned into Art on the Ave project, where we got about 40-ish, 35 to 40 different artists, be whatever art they performed, be it performance, we had video, be it painting, we took pictures of it, be it photography, we took pictures and images of it and placed up, and it got changed out, and we did a couple of meetings and venues up on the Ave about it and different projects. We eventually came down here with Diana, and we turned into acoustics on the Ave. We had Doug come in and play acoustics in the square here in Sandler Square, and we did visual projections onto the windows of, Chocolate, Crown, Capri, and the Revere Business Center right here on Sandler Square. And that worked. So we started from that to get a little more power and understanding, and we started towards another grant from Mass TDI where we were going to try and get a space. It came very close. We learned a lot about it and what had to be done and how to do it better, because at the last minute, the financial sessions of it did not work out. So we had to take and move on from that. But that led to me getting to the city of Revere and Tom in the district cultural and city planning department about getting a permanent space for the Revere arts, culture, and community in the Shirley Ave district up on Shirley Ave in one of the new buildings that are going up. So that's the prime project right now, is to go after getting a designation from the city of Revere that the Shirley Ave district is known as an art district. Once we get that, we can follow through and finish all the criteria required to be able to attain the designation from the state of Massachusetts, where Shirley Ave District becomes an art and cultural designation recognized by the state of Massachusetts. That's important for many reasons. Never mind that it adds to our culture, adds to our community, gives people individual opportunities to express themselves. It creates tourism. It creates additional income. It creates dollars spent extra from tourists that come to see an event and then drop by Chocolate for really good Colombian coffee. Let me tell you, very good.
Thank you so much. No, we have seen your work. We have seen the images that you have illustrated in different businesses. And the what I think in personal level is so important, because even if you're not here, you were not here in Revere, you learn about Revere, you learn the values and all the history that the city has.
Right, and the new history that's being created in Revere right now by its current population. That's an important thing. We need to document what we're doing as a community, as individual groups, and how we interact with each other. That's why I've pushed towards, and I'm trying to create a network where we work with the Revere Historical Museum. We work with the Revere Senior type of organizations. There's many type of things that can be done. One of the programs we're going to push towards working it's called Light Up Revere. We're going to do a show in April at the Revere Historic Museum, where we're going to showcase artists from Revere into the front windows. As you walk up into the museum itself, they'll be projected from inside, and you'll be able to see them from the outside, along with their monitors inside. They've got a great big one like you do. And we'll be able to do an artist talk with individuals about that. Then a couple of months later, we've got a local artist, Bobby Mara. He's doing a little bit in a talk about cultural heritage and how things happen and change over time and how people relate. And then later on, we've got a film by Brendan Brito that we're going to show. And later on after that, we're doing some video of drone type of footage of the city. During the summer, we're going to do Light Up Broadway. We're going to have 5 different properties along Broadway, all lit up from the inside. And hopefully, if we do it right, as you talked about, we're going to be able to podcast out of it at Central Command here.
Absolutely. I love it. I love all these ideas and all these things because it bounds together the history and the modern and the new diversity, the new generations.
This is true.
So I like that bounding because it's all about being together. We all humans. We all have feelings. We all enjoy something different. And why not, put it together in different artistic ways?
Art is inherent to human beings, plain and simple. The farthest back you can go, there were men in caves or women in caves. We don't know. There were, because they all put their hands up and with the ochre. So that's an artist. Plain and simple. But it's been like that since the beginning of time.
Yeah. Each person can have their own ways to express. And I like that because it's a good opportunities for the bounding of everybody.
Right. And the best thing about it is participation. Everyone's invited to participate. Oh, I've never shown people my stuff. Oh, I'm new to it. Participate. It's an easy way to intercourse with other individuals that do what you like. Do it with other individuals that have moved along that path a little farther than yourself, and you learn from them. And you've got an organization that wants to develop the ability of all individuals, no matter who they are in this community, to be able to take and express their art. Because as I made the reference back to the Stone Age and blowing ochre on the hands to make art, they wrote the narrative. That's what we read now. That's what we see. So help write the narrative of who we are, who we were, and what we want to be in the upcoming future.
Well, thank you very much for those wise words.
Well, thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you here in Chocolate with all of our chocolate friends watching right now. Thank you so much. And if you want to give a message to the community?
Yes, I do. If you're an artist of any format, if you're an artist that just doodles at home, you're an artist that performs, you're an artist that does poetry, whatever, you're someone that wants to be, go to Facebook. I know it's an older platform, but it works for us right now. There's a website, but not everyone can transfer across to that right now easily. So step at a time. Go find on Facebook Revere Art Community. Join us. Be part of what we do. If you're an individual that's got a business, has worked longer and understands the business better, and wants to help develop our plan and goal for the designation from the City of Revere for Shirley Ave District being recognized as an arts district, reach out. Be part of it. Input is important. I appreciate it all. Thank you, Diana, for the opportunity to meet and talk with you all. And as far as I can say, thank you. Thank you, Revere.
Thank you very much, and I hope you can join us in the future to give us more updates about all these projects.
Always, and we got a project that's always going to be pushed out on the Facebook Revere Art Community page. Thanks. Bye.